Sorry I didn't join y'all to do this on my lunch break. It was a very busy day for me. My kids had like parent-teacher conferences, and I was solving interesting problems at work. So lunchtime flew right by. But I'm here. Now we are going to get to it. Let's do that. All right, so we are on day 9 here, I believe. I think so. Let's look at the problem. Okay. Every year, Santa manages to deliver all his presents in a single night. This year, however, he has some new locations to visit. His elves have provided him the distances between every pair of locations. He can start and end at any 2 different locations he wants, but he must visit each location exactly once. What is the shortest distance he can travel to? Okay. Let's see. So this is going to be a problem with sort of questions of how many combinations we can make. Like in this situation, there is London, Dublin, Belfast, right? So there's 3 different locations, and then of course 6 different combinations. So how are we going to think about this? I wonder, so my first thought is that we're going to get a list of all the unique locations, cities probably. Hold on, let's look at the input. Okay, what are these? Planets? Okay. Suns. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we've got 8 unique places. So we're going to have to make our list of 8. Hopefully Go has a library that shows us every combination of order. And then maybe we can make something like a map that shows us the distance between each of these. So a map that has all of these in both orders, right? And once we have the map of all the different orders, what we can do is iterate through each of those combinations, taking whatever index we're on and whatever the next index is, finding the distance between those 2 and sort of summing them up as we work our way down the that particular combination, total it up, and then go on to the next one and keep track of what the shortest distance is. I'm guessing that might be the most straightforward way to do something like this. So let's see first. I know that there in Python is it's called combinations. Or like iter tool, something like that. Okay, so iter tools is the library, combinations is the function. I'm not going to click on that because it always has that pop up at this site. But basically what it is you would pass in a list. In this case, we would generate our list. It passes in that and it returns all of the different combinations of that nice and quick. Let's see if there is for Go. I don't want to have to make one. There we go. That's exactly what I want. Variable int has all my combinations. In this case, it would be a string. A string for me. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's look at that tool. Oh, and that was that first. Okay. So I'm gonna have to use this library, right? Okay. First, let's set up our stuff. It's gonna be. Let's look at our input. Copy 6. Name it 9. Get in there. Glad I don't have to make this myself. All right, first, let's grab our input. All right, clear out our tests. I don't think I'm going to need anything special here. We're going to need to test an array. I'm not sure. We're going to have to make some strings to ints, right? Because these are going to start off as strings. So I'll keep that test. Not going to need this test. Not going to need that test. We can just comment out part 1. Comment out part 2. And then we'll comment out these as well. All right, so now let's look at the actual functions here. We don't need this instruction. We will keep this function. I'm going to collapse it down though. We're gonna let's just we'll keep this. We don't need to do these replaces, right? We'll just keep it as they are. We'll keep string to int. Get rid of make instruction. Change light, make arrays. Part 1. Part 2. Let's see, hold on, what are we trying to return? Answer is a number. All right. So like last time, remember how I had this funny thing where it was returning a value that wasn't what I was looking for because it was kind of close. So I'm going to start returning 999 instead of 1 like I was, so that hopefully if I do that again and I'm calling the wrong function, that it will it'll warn me a little bit more, because that would be helpful. Actually, it's uncommented. All right, so we've pulled everything out. Let's get back to our tests. Okay, so let's set this up as our input test. And what we're going to do is we want to return these strings. I'll fix this formatting. Commas. Tabs. Okay. That's what we want to get back. If we put in input string, let's test it. Okay. So we're able to read our file just fine. Now we're going to make an array out of them. Let's uncomment out this and think about what we're going to want. Take this whole thing. This is what we're going to want to get. And we're going to be passing in this string. All right. Go ahead and test it. Now I'm sort of cheating. Oh. Oh, I wonder if I dropped a, yeah. Oh, because I had two different ones here before. Let's get rid of these actually. We only need to test one, I think. Okay. That's all good. So now we got to start. What are we going to start doing? We're going to start making a list, right? And what are we going to do first? So let's grab this. I don't know what it's called in Go, but a set is typically all the unique items, right? From, a list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass in. So this is for the first part so that I can make my combinations, right? I need like a unique set of things. I wonder if I can, I could probably do that at the same time as I'm doing other things, but that won't make it testable, right? And we're trying to make everything testable. So I'm going to do independent sets of things, right? So let's make set and make our function called make set. And what we're going to do is we're going to be passing in this load input because we're going to pass in that whole list right here. Or should we pass in? No, that's not what we want because we want to be able to sort of traverse over all of these two different indexes in this array. So instead of having an array results, we'll have test input, and it's going to be a list, or what do we call it? Go a slice containing strings and many of these. All right. Let's get all of our values here. Belfast, Dublin, London, Dublin, London, Belfast, Dublin, Belfast. Now, I mean, this doesn't really matter, these numbers. All I'm going to be caring about is these index 0 and index 2. But we'll still input that as if, you know, in the way that we expect. And what we're going to want is, I don't know. I don't know if the order matters. Well, let's just see, right? Get rid of this. London, Dublin, Belfast, right? That's what we want. Okay, obviously this is going to fail. We don't have that make set up yet. And I don't know if this is going to be the proper way to have that result. We'll see sort of what order the things come out of, because we don't care about the order, because we're going to be using this combinations library here to you know, make every permutation of this, right? We don't care what order these are in, but we're going to need to care for the purpose of passing this test. So in the process, maybe we can learn a little bit about how it makes sets. Maybe it, you know, might do it in like alphabetical order, or it might do it in the order of adding. So let's see. Go ahead and make set. Let's make this, I'll just do this in order. And what are we going to pass in? We're going to be passing in I mean, that's essentially going to be the data, right? That we pass in. We're going to pass it. So when we, yeah, so it's going to essentially be the same thing. It's going to be that's not what we're going to do. We're going to have made our string, our array first. Locations. And we're going to be returning another set of strings. listed because they're going to be all of the different locations in all the different orders. And I'm assuming that's what the um, what it's going to return. Yeah, but just not. It's you got strings too. Good. Perfect. So I'm wondering if there's a set type in Go. I'm guessing it's just going to be a map with like a true value or something like that. Whatever. If I'm just going to make it like a map. Map, and it's going to contain a string and a bool. And then we're going to say for, I don't think we care about our index. We're going to range over the locations, and the line is going to be a not an array. That's not the word in Go. It's going to be a slice, right? And we are going to be looking at index 0 and index 1. So if I'm so bad at this one, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up every time, I swear. I know exactly like where on the page I have to go. All right. If so we don't care about the value, right? Because we're just gonna set that to Boolean, right? Okay. Set that's in the dictionary. Well, I wonder if there's definitely a better one. Let's so if it's not okay, so this is false, right? Then this I think would get us to the point where we only care about what we do if it's not in there. We'll just add it, right? Set line 0 as the key, and we'll just say equals true. It's a very tiny and then we'll have to look at the other one for index 2. 0, 1, 2 is the next one. 2. All right, let's see. And then we're going at the end. Turn that set. we only have oh, you know what? I don't need to do this at all, right? Hold on. I'm gonna comment all this out for a second. Um, I'm gonna try something else. By let's see. So we're still gonna do for line in locations. We're just going to do if I think there's isn't there a contains. I remember contains method for maybe it doesn't exist. Oh, they're telling me to make. Okay, never mind. I take it back. Um, let's see. I don't want to make. I don't want to make other things, right? Okay. Some of these things are just so much easier in Python, aren't they? All right. So we're gonna make a map here. Um, since I want my just set of strings and I don't care about the other stuff. Um, I'm gonna do iterate over the map keys, right? To return just that stuff that I want. That's a really big picture. All right. So for key, we don't care about the value equals range a map, and then we'll set dot append. Oh, yeah, that's right. Key. I think. Oops. Getting. All right. I think we can check it now. No, is that a squiggle? Whatever. Let's try it. And it passes. I wonder what happens if we were to swap places. Oh yeah, so everything is as it should be. And we've learned a new thing, which is it adds it in order, which is maybe not new for you, but it is new for me. And now I know. All right, so what else do we got here? So we've made a set. Now we have to do those combinations, right? This is going to be a pain in the butt to test, but let's do it anyways. Make combinations. So our input is going to be essentially the result from this, right? Let's all right, so that'll be our input, and our result should be boy, London, Dublin, Belfast. I'm just going to copy these. All right. Oh boy, we're not going to. I have no idea what this output is going to look like. So I'm just going to say okay. We're going to output all of these, but we're going to check the length, right? So there's going to be, we're going to want 6. And we are going to look at the length of this result, which is cheating maybe. Oh, because we need to call it make combinations, right? Okay, so I don't know if you see what I'm doing here, but because I don't know what the combinations are going to be, I'm not going to even try to make those look like what they're supposed to look like. But I do know that there are supposed to be 6 different combinations. So instead of assessing what those combinations are, I'm just saying that I should have the output be 6 in length. All right. So is that cheating? No, it's clever. Maybe it's too. I don't know. We'll see though. I just don't want to write that test. All right. So what do we got? Function make combinations, and what we were going to put in there is location list. And it is going to be a list of strings, and what we want out is going to be a list of lists containing strings, right? Dublin, London, Belfast, London, Dublin, Belfast, London, Belfast, Dublin, right? All the different combinations is what we're looking for. All right. now it's time for us to try to get Ernesto Suarez's stuff going here. So let's all right. Now we're going to throw this up top of import. That should be fine. Okay, let's collapse some of these. Okay, make combinations. So, so let's just so what they got here. Hold on, let's scroll down to slices of strings, right? So this is what we're passing in here, right? This iterable, right? And okay, so let's just style it as this. So we're gonna R equals the length of location list, right? Iterable is what we're bringing in, right? So and combinations is going to be empty, but it is okay. Now we're going to do what they got there, right? For v in here's our list R, and what we're going to be doing is instead of printing out that line, we're going to be combinations append combinations B, right? And at the very end of this, combinations. All right, let's save this. I wonder if this should import. All right, so why? Did I spell that right? Yes, yes, I did. All right, why? Keep getting rid of it. All right. I don't use many. I've never used many public libraries, so what I need is I wonder if I need to like close out of this and then come back to it. Sometimes that happens. I wonder if I need to. There we go. Just had to give it like an alias here. All right, let's see how it works. All right, didn't work. Let's print V first, just like they did, and see what we get. So we can see what we're supposedly adding. Oh, it's just failing. Why is it failing? All right, we're gonna pass in an error int, and we're gonna return. Why wouldn't it give me? Oh, it is printing one out here. It looks like London, Dublin, Belfast. Is that what I'm passing in? London, Dublin, Belfast. But it should be giving me more than one. It should be. It's like it's failing to range over that list. It should do all of them, but it's only returning one of them. Anybody has any ideas for why that would be? What my string looks like, right? Can make it it's not a list anymore. It only is returning one. Why? Pass in iterable, which is our locations list. R, we're passing in an int, which is R. And I don't like I'm just going to hard code 3 here and see what happens. The problem with that length. Well, now what's it mad about? Well, it still did it only once. What? Is he going to change the order on me? God. All right, so I guess sometimes it does it in different orders. That can be problematic, I suppose. Let's do the same thing. You know, that would actually be not too bad. Now that we know that is going to work, let's just set it there. And then we can at least know that that works. All right. Why isn't this working? You know, and it's hard because I don't have any insight into what this library is doing. Let's do this again. Just with the integers. Well, it's only doing it once. Why is it only doing it once? Okay, let's think. Ernesto, you're killing me. So we're doing combination. Oh, is it combinations or permutations? I don't want combinations. I want permutations, don't I? All right. Well, maybe that's my problem. I mean, Okay, well, there. That's what it was. I was doing combinations instead of permutations. Now I'm passing. Um, all right. Let's I think we're pretty close to um attempting to solve this. I wanted to get this done today, but that took a good long time, though I've learned a new library, so that's fun. All right, so I've only made my list of combinations. Now I need to make a map containing. All right, let's. We're getting close, guys. We've got one more major test. Make routes. All right, so in this case, right, we have to make the routes, right? We're gonna pass in London to Dublin. Let's I guess it's gonna be this list, right? Um and what I would like to get out of it is um a map containing a string. I guess it contains two strings. I wonder if I do that. Is this possible? um, and the result is an int. And I want that to be the first one. How do I do that? Um, shoot. What would that even look like? It's an invalid type. Well, that makes sense. So how am I going to do this? Am I going to? So here's where I'm at. I don't know what order these two are going to be in, right? What I need is to be able to tell whether it's either London to Dublin or Dublin to London, right? So I have to have a map that contains sort of both of those keys with the value for 68. Um, I'm wondering how I can do that. Uh, I'm not talking, I'm trying to think. London. Probably, awesome. All right. Wonder if I can nest maps. Is this taking it too far? That is one of the problems with these sorts of Go very strict structures for me, is that I have a hard time sort of trying to put, like I know the way I want it to look in my brain, but it's sort of hard to, figure out this part without how do you say, practicing it a ton. So this is what I'm gonna do. I spelled Dublin. I'm gonna make just the keys like this. I know it's not right. I know that it's probably ugly. I know it's probably slow, but let's do it and get through it. All right. So that's what I want my result to be. Obviously, in the real world, I'm just gonna. Oh, this is hard. What's your problem? Why don't you like this? You missing key. I gave you the key. Do I have should I have an equals? No, shouldn't have an equals. All right, let's see how to make a map literal. Map int string that. All right, so they're just commas, not brackets. I can slow my freak out a little bit. All right. Well, instead of strings, I can have string. Do you think that's possible? Let's see. I think I had looked at this before and it was not okay. Yeah, invalid type. Right, so let's run it. Fails. Let's go make that route. And what are we passing in? What are we passing in? We are returning a map string I don't know if I should do it this way. Because I don't know how I'm going to be able to combine those. It's going to have to be all of them, isn't it? I'm gonna have to make this test bigger, like this whole thing bigger than I thought. All right. Sorry, everybody. We're going to. We'll just do two of them. And return that map of all of them, right? So London to Dublin, and then what was my second? London to Belfast equals 518. And this is what I want. London to Dublin. Dublin, Belfast. All right. So this will let us, pass everything in. What's it meant about here? Oh. So this will be the whole thing here. This will be the whole thing there. What's it meant about here? Okay. It doesn't allow it in because I haven't said that yet. All right. So So we're going to pass in our whole list, in this case, just two of them, right? And we're going to return a map, right? So for, we got to make our map first. Route map equals map string int. And maybe we'll want to make another quick little function here. Map key, and we're going to pass in London and Dublin. all the Irish people today, I bet, by writing Dublin incorrectly over and over again, making it Dublin. All right, make map key, and what I want my results to be is two values, right? How am I going to return those? Maybe I can just put in parentheses. You know, let's no, because I want to split it. Split it on the hyphen. Okay. Does this work? It's not happy about it. Yeah, it doesn't like that. I mean, I could return, you know, an array. I do this. That's gibberish to me right now. I don't understand what that is. You know, it's frustrating because I'm pretty sure that I could get through this challenge right now. But I'm trying to write the tests. I'm trying to no, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna just test this and see what comes back. And what's called make map key. Pass in return two strings. How are we gonna do that? We could just do that in a one-liner, I bet. String hyphen string. I think that's how it works. So we're gonna return inverse. Shoot, what do we got here? We just need a comma. I don't think we need all of these hyphens. Let's see. What are you mad about? Want one, got two. I told you you were going to get two. Why would you want one? Oh, I don't know if I need to have a comma here. There we go. All right, so let's go test this. It's going to fail. We know it's going to fail. What are we complaining about right now? Did I not call that make map key? Yeah, I'm passing in two strings, right? Just let it fail, right? All right. So I think it's mad. Maybe I can't test this sort of thing. I wonder how I could test it. Here, this is what. It'll be fine, won't it? I'll just test it when I'm doing this. I'm gonna test it right here when I'm making this, right? All right, so make test routes. Was it test make routes? Wait, where am I? Make map key, test, make routes. Okay. London, Dublin. All right, so we're passing in test input. We would like to return out these, and they might not be in the right order, but let's just go with it. So we're going to need to iterate for we don't care about the index line. Yeah, we'll just call it line. In range. So this should now have us inside the array, right? And we need to make a map. And the way we're going to do that is not have to look it up, but instead check here, right? If since we're doing both of them at the same time, so we're saying if the route mat, and then we got the key. So the key is going to be, one of the keys is going to be, um, should I just make two? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna return, even this is like silly. I'm gonna return for here a map or a slice of strings, and return okay. Well, now we can test it, I suppose. Let's go back here. We're going to pass in London, Dublin, and we're going to return with London, Dublin. All right, so that's passing. Is it? Oh, build failed. That's because I'm moving too fast. I don't have. All right, let's test this. Define make routes. That's fine. But otherwise, that other passed. That other looks like it passed. Let's fail it real quick. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Turning myself all around. There we go. Expected actual. Wait, why is it mad about that? Those are the same things. What's different? Oh, that's what the problem is. All right, we're back. We're back. All right. Go back to make routes. All right, so we're bringing in a string. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say we're just gonna look for the first one, right? And so that key is going to be make make map key line index 0, line index 2. Remember those were the two. We'll just call that key vals because it's going to return both of them, right? That's going to be a set of strings, right? And we're going to have that be key vals 1 or 0. We'll do 0, the first one, right? With the idea that if, in this process, we're going to be adding both sets, right? And if it doesn't exist, we're going to add both. If it does exist, both should exist, right? So we're checking to see if, let's drag this down a little bit so a little more room so that I can copy my crap up here. All right. So if they are not okay, so if they're not in the map, right? Need a comma here. Okay. Spelling mistakes. All right. So if they're not there, I need to add them, right? So root map evals 0 equals, and this is where we can have the string to end. We're gonna need to check this. Put it up here because we'll leave it down there. Line, what's that value? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and we want to also add the second key value. Okay, so this should be iterating through all of the instructions and making those key value pairs for being the key of that list, right? So we have all of the possible routes. Let's return route map. All right, so I doubt this is gonna go perfectly. Maybe it will. Did not. It is just doing it out of order. Did I populate that wrong? Dublin, Belfast, Dublin, London, Dublin. Oh, because I have London, Dublin, and London, Belfast. All right, making my test wrong. All right, it's mad still, but I think that it's just a matter of it being in the wrong order. So we got Belfast, London with that value, Dublin, London with. Am I doing these values wrong? Jesus. Okay. Yikes. I'm just not being careful. All right, passes. Okay. So now we're able to make all of those key value pairs. Now the last thing we're going to have to do, and I don't know if we need to make add this too. So we already have it going. Let's do part 1. And we'll load the data. And what do we want to return? The shortest. All right. So here is what I think that we need to do for part one, and hopefully we only have to do. Okay. First, we need to get our list, right? We'll call it site list. And we are going to set that equal to, I'm just collapsing all these so that I can see their names. I can pull this down too. And that's going to be make set, right? I need to make my arrays first. I think I coded myself into a little pickle here. My issue being, why can't I? Because I'm in it. What did I do? So here's my problem right now, is that I have a little bit of an issue where what I was going to do is make that initial set. But the problem with that initial set is that it's supposed to be that list of strings instead of just that input that I have. Let's look at my tests. So here's the problem, is that I start my process with this list right here, right? Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Instead of making that list of sets first, I'm going to make my combination, right? Because that is what I have. I shouldn't have done it this way. I wasn't thinking it through. I'm just gonna make a list of strings, right? Okay, so for, don't care about index, line in range data I'm just too far to go back right now. All right. Append array date, and we're going to add array line. Okay, so this should get us array date data. This data type that we need to make the set. So let's get that. set equals make set with array data. All right. All right, so now we got that location set, all of the individual guys there, right? Location combos equals make combinations with location set. Okay. So now we have all the locations in a list, all the combos in a list. And now we have to make routes. Oh, well, we want this. Good. I'm glad we have this array data, right? Because we need it, right? Routes equals make routes with array data. All right. So now we have our routes, and now we have right. Okay. So here's where the magic happens. I'm going to iterate for I'll have to make a like a ticker in a second, but I'll get back to it. So for don't really care about index. And combo equals range location combo. So we're gonna traverse through all of those combinations. Right, so now we're one level in, right? And then we're gonna go over those and we're gonna need the okay. So now here is where we need to start adding things up. All right, so I is the index. We're starting at 0. Imagine a world in which right now we have sort of a list of Dublin, London, Belfast, right? This is our first set, right? So the first thing we have to do is find our key, which is Dublin, London, right? So we're gonna make another guy here similar, and I'm not gonna test it. Just called make key. It's gonna have string 1 and string 2, but it's just gonna return a string, and it's only gonna return them in this order, string 1 and string 2, right? Because that's the order we're in right now, in that order, okay? So where are we going to get string 1 and string 2 from? Let's make them. Key equals make key with what do we got? make key. So the first one is going to be location. And the second one is going to be combo I plus 1, right? This one could be combo I, right? But since that's already set as location, we're getting the next location, right? So this should be that string. And we need to have we're gonna have an I here. That's gonna cause problems for this. Call it a J. Okay. And we're gonna make a shortest route equals nil. Nil? No. I'm gonna make it okay, so we've made this key, and what we're going to do is we should have all those combinations, right? We should have all those key values stored up. What we need to do is get that value now of that key, and we need to add it to combo length. It's going to start at 0, right? So we're going to say combo length plus equals routes, and that key value is going to be key, right? And that should give us an int. That's the value of that step, right? Now this, we're going to have to change this to iterate over the length. Because otherwise we're going to have like an overflow as we j is less than the length of combo minus 1, and then we'll do j plus. So this will still have us iterating over that, the difference being that now we have to actually just use that index there. Okay. All right. We're doing good now. Okay, so in this line right here, let's start from the beginning here. So we have all of our list of combinations. We are hitting the first one, right? So let's say that this is our list of combinations. We're hitting the first one. We're starting with index 0, and then we're going to go until we hit, so this is length is 3. So we're going to do it while j is less than 3 minus 1, which is 2. While it's less, so only to 1, right? So it's only going to do 0 and 1. Because what it's doing is it's getting this value and this value, making the key pair to get the length and add it. Then it's doing this one and this one, getting the key length, and then it's stopping because that's the end, right? Okay. So now we have combo length. We've iterated through everything. And what are we gonna do? If so, we're handling something because if we're on our first loop, we can't do a shortest route. If we're doing like the longest route or something, we could start at 0 and know that the longest route is always going to be, you know, greater than 0. We could also make the shortest route of a billion and expect that it be shorter. But we're just going to make sure that we do it right by saying if shortest route is equal to -1, which is the only time that should happen is in the event that this is our very first iteration through, because that's what we initially set it at. Then we're going to say shortest route equals combo length. Okay, because it's the first one, it's going to be the shortest, right? Else, so if it's not, that means it's not the first time through. Now, and I could also set this to 0 and say if I equals 0. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. Can I set things to nil? I'm just going to set it to 0. If I equals 0, then shortest route equals combo length. Else, if combo length is less than shortest route, then shortest route now is going to be set equal to combo length. Else, we're not going to do anything. We don't care. If it's longer, then we're just going to skip over it. And then at the end, we're going to return shortest route. All right. We ready to test? Let's look at our test here. 605. All right, let's test it. See how it works. Passes. Passes. You ready for a really making it work? Let's see. Go run main dot go. 141. Geez, that's real short. That doesn't seem. Let's look at our data set. That can't be right. That's not right. My tests are. What am I not doing right? I mean, maybe it is. No, you know what? I'm gonna trust the tests. I'm looking at this and saying Tambi to whatever, but like maybe that's a route that's never gonna be taken. Let's trust it. Trust. 141. Submit. It's right. It's right. 1 gold star. We did it. I trusted my tests. They didn't let me down. That makes me happy. I don't think I'm gonna have time for part 2. Oh, the longest distance. The longest distance. I'm just going to copy this crap down. I'm going to do it at the same time. So what I'm doing here is we're still going to do the same stuff, right? Still going to, on the first pass, set them both to longest route. But in this case, you might just be able to crack this. Longest route, then longest route equals combo length. Let's see. Part one, part two equals part one data. All right. I think I can do that, right? Oh, I need to have two ints here. Returning two ints. No, that's not the right function. Why didn't one of you tell me? How dare you? Okay, so now we're returning two ints for part one, returning two ints for part one, returning these two ints for part one, and we're going to say format part one, and part two, part two. All right, run it. 141. Ah! Let's just type it in. 7:36. We did it. We did it, everybody. Under 2 hours. Well, that second part was easier once we had all that first stuff done. So let's tidy all this up. We have two, all these extra spaces. All right, I feel pretty happy with all this stuff. I'm really happy that I learned about this itertools library. That was a good find. Maybe I'll have a time to use it again. I'm sure I will at some point. See if I can clean up this test. I don't need part two. Oh, this is. I'm just gonna comment this out now since it's the wrong data types and stuff. Yeah. All right. So thank you all for joining me tonight. I typically do this on my lunch break every day, sort of between 11 and 1-ish Central Time. I should be doing that same time tomorrow. If like today I get too busy. I just don't, and I try to get to it tonight. Just like everybody, we all got other things going on. But yeah, so thank you for joining. If you have any comments, feel free to let me know. Usually I post these to YouTube afterwards too, so you can find it and comment on it there. I don't know if you can comment on these streams after they're done. I'm new at this. All right. Anyways, everybody take care. I'm gonna sign off now and go to bed because it's 10:30 and I'm old. Take care.